What's happening, people? I hope you're well. Welcome back to the channel. Myself and lead judges are with you tonight. Adrian was going to be on, but unfortunately he's not feeling very well. Literally last minute he texted me, so I hope he gets well soon. And he'll be back next show. Yeah, he texted me, he said, look, I ain't been well, going back to bed. I'm really sorry, mate. I was really looking forward to it. He said, I even rewatched the game just to do some analysis because I had a lot to say. So we'll make sure he gets his say next time. Judges, hope you are well, mate. It's good to see your face. You've had a good night. You've been out tonight, yeah?
I've just been out for a meal tonight. Just only around Michelle's, like lovely dinner around there, and yeah, very nice. And yeah, what I was going to say, it's been a good weekend, Dan. It's been a good weekend.
Well, it has been, mate.
I hope the boys from Spurs are going to be on this weekend, like, you know what I mean? Giving it large.
We'll make sure they are, mate. Trust me, we'll make sure that they are. But we've got a lot to talk about, mate. I broke it down quite nicely tonight because there's a lot I want to say and a lot that I'm sure you want to say as well. And I want the chat to get involved. So make sure you do us a favour, smash the like button. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel and make sure you subscribe to Football's 12th Man, my channel as well. And that's the first few jobs for you. But Lee, we have another prize, mate.
Unbelievable, like unbelievable. Dan, I'm gonna say it like they've done it again. They've done it again. You know, football prizes have done it again.
This one is special, by the way.
Oh, it's unbelievable. This one there, like, you know, I honestly thought the Dennis Bergkamp one couldn't get no better than that. I think they might have equaled this one. If I'll be honest, I think they might have equaled it. But so I'm not going to say it's the biggest Arsenal one, but you know, like it's definitely up there as one of the biggest Arsenal competition. Bukayo Saka signed custom LED framed Arsenal shirt with the built-in TV. Now listen to this, Dan. Plus 30 instant win prizes as well. Like that's unbelievable. Like, you know, for just $3.95, you can win this stunning signed custom framed shirt. Beautiful piece of kit this is that features a poster, you know, like a built-in film of him doing his business for the Arsenal, his highlight, a little highlight show, I would say it is, like, you know. And as I said, 30 instant prizes, and that includes, now get this, Dan, this is not just any sort of signed shirts. I think two of the best central defenders that we've ever had. Sol Campbell being one. This is where I'm going to get a little bit jealous now. A William Saliba signed shirt. Also a Ben White signed shirt. You know, one of my favourites, Ben White. And after his performance on Sunday, he's back up there. Like Charlie George signed and custom frame shirt. Charlie George, you know, Arsenal legend. And also a framed shirt of Liam Brady. Can you believe that as well? And also a signed shirt of our good friend Nigel Winterburn. Unbelievable prizes from those guys there at Football Prizes. Don't know how they do it. I don't know how they do it. But again, they've got my money, Dan. They've got my money free.
Yeah, man. They've got mine as well, man. It's mad. I've put in for the Bergkamp one. I'm going to have to put in for this one now as well, man.
Yeah,
I like the little reel thing. I like the little video thing they put with it. That's class, man.
Yeah, it's class. You know what I mean? But I wouldn't be even disappointed if I got one of the instant prizes. You know what I mean? Signed Saliba shirt. Liam Brady.
I'd take Winterburns, mate. I loved when Nigel Winterburn.
Yeah, Nigel Winterburn as well. Like, you know, and let me tell you, I am going to sell you this again. Like, I've got one of the frame shirts here. £150 a frame shirt. £150. So you're getting value for money just on the frame. You know, you can take the shirt out and sell the frame. You've made money.
Well, unreal. Nothing, is it? $3.95. That's nothing.
Right, it's unbelievable. I don't know how they do it. Unbelievable prizes. No, they just don't do Arsenal ones as well because I think that they do all teams. So I ain't just Arsenal that they do, like, you know. So whoever does that and gets all that stuff in there, doing a remarkable job down there, like, you know. I want their number. I want his number. I want him in my contact list because he seems to be the man to know, like, because that's incredible, like, you know what I mean. I'll tell you what, next month they'll do it again. You watch it. I'll be coming on here and I'll be hitting them with an unbelievable one, like, you know. But to get Saka and to get Bergkamp is unbelievable, like, you know. But well done, guys. Well done at Football Prizes. Check them out. They're on Instagram as well, and on all socials. It's they're worth getting involved in. $3.95, and you can have your dream Saka. Oh, by the way, what a lovely finish that was on Sunday, Dan. Get in there.
Yeah, 100%, man. Listen, make sure you go over to Football Prizes. Make sure you check it out. Make sure you get yourself involved in the raffle for the Bergkamp and the Saka prizes. Listen, Lee, there's going to be quite a lot to discuss here. But people in the chat, big up to Nando, big up to my mum in the chat, big up to Ola, big up to Ronnie as well. Big up to all of you for being here. Make sure you do me a favor and smash the like button, people. Let's make sure we get the likes up to 200 likes by the time that we finish this stream. The judges.
Lovely to meet Donna. That was another highlight of the day.
There you go.
Not only Arsenal one, I met the mum and dad, Steve and Donna. Always a pleasure. Lovely, lovely people. So I have to get that in there. Like I know that Matt's in the chat as well. Hello, Matt. Like top
Big up,
guy.
Matt.
So yeah. So listen, fantastic Sunday that was, wasn't it? I'll tell you what. I'm going to be honest, Dan. I've got to say it now. Wonderful weekend.
It was a wonderful weekend, man. It was a wonderful weekend, and I gotta say, big up to everyone as well, and big up to yourself. Big up to Chaitanya as well, who's just joined, who's always here as well. I'll tell you what, we'll get into the football in a minute, but I want to get into the meltdown first, judges, right? Because there's been such media coverage in the last couple of days about how Arsenal are overreacting again, over celebrating. Yeah, Jurgen Klopp can run on the pitch if he wants and go and high five Alisson, and that's fine. But the minute that Odegaard grabs a camera, oh, crime! Get in the nick, my son. It's crazy. Now, I'm not really rattled by it, but what I am going to say is that I think it's funny that so many people are rattled by it that aren't Arsenal fans. For me, it's mad. It's absolutely hilarious. What they all wanted, in my opinion, on Sky Sports was Arsenal to lose this game, so that they can see a meltdown, so that everyone can laugh about Arsenal being 8 points behind and out of the title race again. And I look at the people in the studio. Gary Neville's like this, Roy Keane's like this, Jamie Carragher's like this. And I'm thinking, wow, boys, it could be more biased if you tried. Literally, they are so devastated that Arsenal have won this game. And you could really tell. So there's two ways to react to this, right? Two results could have happened. The first result is Arsenal lose. Oh, it's not looking good for Arsenal, is it? Oh, the meltdown will be back. Arsenal win the game, and it's like, well, let's calm down a bit, shall we? It's only one game. It don't actually mean anything. It's nothing. It must mean something if Arsenal would have been out of the title race if we would have lost it. So that's my honest opinion. What is yours, Lee?
My honest opinion is, and nothing against Jamie Carragher, nothing against Gary Neville, or any of them guys, but they should not be commentating on their own teams. It's ridiculous. It's just so biased. And that is why, Dan, fan channels now are making it big as far as I'm concerned, and have got a cliche. We know what is it? A part in the game now, because we're fed up with listening to their biased crap. I watched a little clip the other day when Jurgen, I know I love Jurgen Klopp. Don't get me wrong, I love him. You know what I mean? Running on the field, at Anfield, like 1-0 win against Everton. You know, against Everton, by mine, not one of its title rivals, by the way, but they're rivals. You know what I mean? Oh, look at Klopp running on the field, like, you know what I mean? Oh my God, Jamie, you got a hard on, have you, or something like, you know what I mean? At that, right? You know, now, like it was a great thing. The next one, like, I remember. Do you remember? I think it was against Spurs, so I'm gonna forgive Jurgen when he pulled his hamstring. Do you remember when he done that?
Oh,
yeah. But running up to the referee or the linesman or something, giving him large. You know what I mean? Like, and doing his hamstringing, like, nothing. That's all right. That's okay. You know what I mean? Like, when Arteta does it, and I look back at what Mikel done, I didn't think it was even that bad. Like, I just want to have a jump on the wagon and have a go. And the next part I've got to say about this, and this just makes me laugh, right? Every single Scouse fan, Liverpool fan, winning this game. 3-1, 2-0, 4-0. All the predictions were in, winning the game, right? As soon as they lose it, well, we didn't have so-and-so playing. We didn't have so-and-so playing. We didn't have so-and-so playing. He was out injured. Nunes has got a bruised foot. Couldn't get his boot on. Get over it, you rowdy little lot. You dirty little lot. You all backed your team at the beginning, and at the end of it, you got pumped, done. Take it. Move on from it. Just like we did. When we beat us in the FA Cup, yes, we moved on and just said, yes, you know what I mean? Like, they deserved it. Listen, I turned around and told you, everybody on here, that Arsenal would win this game. The reason I knew Arsenal would win this game because Liverpool would come at us. But listen, the saltiness of all this, like, you know what I mean? I went down a fish and chip shop the other day. Like, there's no salt in Scousland no more. They're just having vinegar on their chips. It's a joke. They've got no salt. They've run out of salt. The Scousers. They've got a salt shortage. You know what I mean? Because, you know what I mean? And don't ask for a lemon because they're so bitter about it. They ain't got none. Don't ask for a gin and tonic with a lemon in the Scousland. You won't get one. Too bitter. Absolutely love it. They're the worst fan base, right? Barring Tottenham fans, you know what I mean? But they have got something to back it up. I'll give them that, like. But they are arrogant, horrible, lovely fans. I love them, like, you know what I mean? I love their passion and everything like that. Don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, hold it, lads. Hold it. You got stuffed at the Emirates. Take it like a man. Pull your pants up and get on to the next game. I even turn around and say, silly little, I've seen it in the thing today, Liverpool fans saying, oh, look, Arsenal thought they won the league on Sunday. They're third today. What are you on about, you lot? You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, what are you on about? It's a game of football. You lost. We won. You know what I mean? Like, everybody laughed at us when we lost to Aston Villa. Everybody laughed at us at Newcastle. I get that. That's what it's all about. Hold your hands up. You got stuffed. End of.
Facts, bruv. I literally echo everything you say. Do you know what's really interesting about something you said as well was I had so many people. I did a few previews. Big up to Coppish, big up to Callum and to Drifty over there. I was on their channel talking all things Arsenal and Liverpool. And it wasn't them. They actually had a fair prediction. Callum did go 2-1. Drifty said 2-2, same as me. I went for a 2-2 draw as well. And I saw in the chat box, it comes up, all of the scouts says 4-0, 5-1. 3-1, 3-0, 2-0. And I'm thinking, this ain't the Arsenal. This is definitely the Liverpool, by the way, right? And then we beat them. And like you say, Lee, yeah, but we didn't have Salah and we still haven't got, we still haven't in the midfield got Thiago. He's only just joined back. Well, we haven't got Jesus. We ain't got Partey. We ain't got Timber. We've only got Tomiyasu back next week because he's come back from Japan. We can play that game as well, Lee, right? We can play
100%.
that game as well. Yeah.
100%. I'll tell you something there. Big up to Ronnie in there, the old Spurs fan, like, you know what I mean? Like, love it, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, beating the Scousers ain't for everybody over the weekend, Ronnie. I can tell you that now, like, you know what I mean? But listen, my brother, Spurs fan, right, you know, on the phone today, yeah, you've done well, like, you know what I mean, to beat Liverpool. You deserve to win it. But, you know, look at all the injuries that other teams have got and you ain't got none. You've had none all season. I went, you what? It's got like, I said, well, look at the injuries we've had. Look at the injuries Liverpool had. I said, hold the phone there, judges. I said, hold the phone there. Look at the injuries we've had. Timber, Partey, one of our best midfield players, not been there all season. You know what I mean? Jesus has been out more times than in. You know what I mean? Like
Zinchenko, he's been out.
Yeah, you know what I mean? We have had our injuries as much as anybody else. You know what I mean? Like, but it seems now, you know, when like you get a trophy in the top four if you've got the more injuries now. Oh, I've got more injuries than you. We'll have that one. We'll take it out, you know. Even Spurs fans going on about, oh, we've had suspensions.
It's hilarious. Mr. Happy says, yeah, Martinelli missed 6 weeks.
Martinelli, another one. Yes, yes.
Yeah. Everyone's had injuries. That's not an excuse,
We've all had
man.
injuries.
Everyone's had them. Everyone's had them. Listen, we did get injuries. And I think it is time to mention the two players that have come in to replace Partey and Jesus. Because I'm not going to lie to you, with Jesus injured, I wasn't like, that's it, we ain't winning this game. I was really frustrated because he's injured again, Lee, right? That was why I was annoyed to start with. But I saw Kai Havertz coming in. Our good friend Andy Nunn did say that he heard that Havertz was training in the 9 for the whole of the week. So obviously they knew Jesus weren't right, okay? So Havertz came in. And the other player that came in was Jorginho. And I was expecting to see Jorginho in this team. And I was praying he was going to play just to give us a little bit of balance in midfield. But actually, they played as a double pivot, mate. I was expecting that Jorginho to come in that 6, Declan Rice bomb it on at that 8. And actually, it did allow Declan Rice to bomb it on a bit. But they were actually playing in more of a double pivot, which complemented Martin Ødegaard. So our midfield trio was probably the best it's been since the Partey, Xhaka and Ødegaard of last season, in my opinion. We didn't have to worry about this. Who's going to play left 8? Is it going to be Havertz? Is it going to be Smith-Rowe? Is it going to be Rice? Is it going to be Fabi Vieira when he comes back? All these question marks. And up top, Kai Havertz. Don't want to see you in midfield ever again. that is your position, mate. You are somebody that can cause havoc up the top. And those two positions, for me, I was always worried about, but I never ever would have thought, Lee, that against Man City and Liverpool, that both Havertz and Jorginho, two Chelsea rejects that people keep saying, fair play, because people all say that. They actually contributed massively to the win at Man City and the win at Liverpool, in my opinion, because Havertz contributed for the goal that we scored, for Martinelli's goal at Man City, and Jorginho played in that game very well. And this game, I thought they both turned up. And I'm not a massive fan of Kai Havertz. You know I'm not, bro,
No,
right?
I know you're not.
But I looked at his performance as a 9 and I thought, yeah, I didn't look at it and go, wow, that's outstanding. That's Van Persie there, like some people might, going over the top. But I thought he put himself about. I thought he contributed well. And he has got that little bit of nastiness in him, which is obviously why Kenyatte got sent off. And to be fair, he actually got Kenyatte sent off for both the bookings was to do with Kai Havertz. So I thought both those players were really good. And Jorginho, for me, was man of the match, Lee. So I wanted to start with those two, man.
Yeah, look, listen, unbelievable performances from. But I've actually watched back Kai Havertz's performance, and I can't believe, you know what I mean. The Turkish, someone I love and got a lot of respect for, weren't giving him the praise that he deserves. I get it, maybe if you don't watch the game, but looking back on it, I think he was instrumental in our game, because what he'd done was he pinned the two central defenders. He gave them so much to. They was focusing on trying to bully him. When they were Liverpool, I think are fantastic. I honestly think Calamity and Van Dijk are the best partnership alongside our two. Like, you know what I mean? And I wouldn't argue if you turn around and said that they're better than ours and we're better. I don't think there's a lot in it. I think that ours are a little bit more. They're a little bit more experienced with Van Dijk, but I think Saliba and Gabriel is a fantastic partnership as they are. But I see them rattled. They got rattled. Took out of their comfort zones because of what Kai Havertz done to him. He bullied them a little bit, like, you know. When have you seen a forward at Arsenal bully central defenders of that quality? I haven't seen it, Dan. You know what I mean? And I know people go, oh, we've got his mortal and all that. That's what he done. He put them down. He put them out of their comfort zone. So much so that Van Dijk got done by Martinelli's strength. You know what I mean? So it just shows you that there wasn't quite as set as they normally are, and that was down to.
Sorry to interrupt. This is a really good shout. This is the last time we had someone, Giroud.
Yeah. But did he bully top central defenders like that? I'm not so sure. I watched them the other game at Anfield. They were very, very comfortable. Had two very, very good games. But I felt that he come in and done exceptionally well, like, you know. And I'm a big Giroud fan as well, like, you know what I mean. Like, didn't get the.
Underrated, wasn't he?
Underrated. He did miss a few chances for us at times, but at the end of the day, I think he come in and done a fantastic job for us when things weren't great at the Arsenal, like, you know. But I think with Kai Havertz, he done that, and I go back to the performances against Manchester City in the. I know it was only Community Shield. It was brilliant in that game. Caused them problems, and it meant that we had a platform to play. You know what I mean? And what he done was he got those central defenders on the back foot, and that allowed us a little bit more space in midfield. So from his point of view, done very, very well. And he also contributed in the League Cup, the league game against Manchester City as well, getting, you know, doing the same sort of thing, Dan, getting his body in there and doing that. Look, you know, I know that what people will say, and I agree with it. You know, for a lot more money, you expect a little bit more than all that, like, and I get that. But ultimately, I think that he was instrumental in that win there. Then you go to Jorginho. Now, I remember if we was on the podcast with the Spurs fan. What was the Spurs fan's name?
Oh, well, Deji, yeah.
Deji, lovely guy. Lovely guy, Deji. But, like, you know, when he falls asleep, he sees blue and white. I don't know, like, you know what I mean? So, you know, I don't know, like, you know what I mean?
He loves his Tottenham, I tell you.
He loves his Tottenham, but he sort of laughed when we both said we wanted Jorginho in the side and sort of mocked Jorginho, like, you know what I mean? Get a bit of, respect on his name, you know what I mean? Because you don't get where you've got from him for being crap. You know what I mean? Like, you know, he's won everything that he's entered. If you think about it. He's won it all, and I just watched his game back then. And if you get a chance to watch his game back, just watch. I'd love to someone to do the highlights reel of him or something like that. He never gives the ball away once, Dan, in the whole game. it's a masterclass. It's a masterclass of knowing when to pop the ball off and when to hold it and draw your man in and then pop it off, or play first time, play through the lines. Was outstanding, Dan. He really was. I know that. I think from when you look at ability wise, I think he was man of the match. But if you got to go back and have a look at Declan Rice's performance as well. I honestly think that realistically he was man of the match. But pound for pound, it's Jorginho. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? They complemented each other extremely well. They did, and I thought that they was fantastic. And I was just, you know. If you want to see a midfield performance of how to play midfield when your legs are going and you haven't quite as good as the other player physically or whatever, that's how to play a game of football. You know what I mean? Like he knows that he can't run past players, but what he can do is pass round players. He's done it sensationally well. And I think now, I don't know all this talk about he's playing in pain and all that. Like, I don't know what all that was about, but I like to see him now playing. Well, if that's the same midfield against West Ham, I'll be very, very happy. I don't know if it will be Dan, but I will be very, very happy seeing him playing like in maybe having to pick and choose his games. But I thought he was outstanding, and I'm hoping that we'll see a little bit more of him come these next few games anyway.
Listen, couple of things from me. Kai Havertz, agree with everything you've said. Needs to score, Lee.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Only negative for me really was that he didn't put that in. Now people will then turn around and go, yeah, but we scored. It don't matter. And he played a massive part in that game, and the only reason we scored is because of that. But let's be real, he needs to slot that home, in my opinion. But I thought his performance was really good. He plays in the number 9 for me until Jesus comes back. Now I don't want to be seeing anybody else in there. If you're ready in Nketiah, what are you now thinking? You got to go in the summer. Yeah, good. That's what I need. I need an upgrade. And Havertz is better than Eddie in number 9. I think that's clear to see now, right? So that's the first thing on Eddie and on Kai Havertz. In terms of Jorginho, I had Kenny Ken on my show literally tonight, and also we were talking about it. And he made a good point. He said, is it horses for courses now with Jorginho, or do we actually stick with him? He thinks it'd be more horses for courses. See a couple of games where he would come in, a couple of games would drop out. I actually disagree. I want to see that now, because that is the most balanced we've been in midfield. It wasn't just because it was against Liverpool. I actually think it would complement the same against West Ham as well. And I think that when you look at a trio that complements each other, that was perfect, because Ødegaard played one of the best games he's seen in terms of his press and his leadership qualities. I thought he led by example. I thought Declan Rice was absolutely everywhere in terms of last sticks, tackles, driving forward with the ball, interceptions, tackling, passes. Everything that we love about Declan Rice was there. And Jorginho, like you say, one of the better performances I've seen him play. And not just in an Arsenal shirt. There was definitely, for me, games where I've seen Jorginho play all right for Arsenal, where he's done a job or more than a job. But actually, when you look at him in an Arsenal shirt, that's by far the best performance I've seen from Jorginho. So when I look at it...
Hold on, Dan. That's for Ronnie. It's a toffee. It's a toffee. Go and have a toffee, Ronnie. There you go. Putting hammer signs up and all that. Yeah, mate. Go and suck on a toffee. If you can't find a toffee, find yourself a lemon, because you're bitter. There you go.
Big up to Sarah in the chat. Hope you're well, darling. Thanks for the super chat. Evening, Lee and Dan. What a game. Bring on West Ham. We're going to talk about that one in a minute for sure, Sarah, because it's a massive, massive game. Because, of course, it means we have to win this one now. Otherwise, it means absolutely nothing on Sunday. So let's stick with Sunday, because, Lee, I wanted to mention a couple of other players that I think deserve a mention other than Havertz and Jorginho. And, of course, we've mentioned Declan Rice. I want to talk about a player you mentioned earlier on the raffle on the football prizes, Ben White. I thought his performance was superb, particularly in the first half, Lee, when he actually nutmegged Curtis Jones. It was just actually taking a mick, he was so good. And I must say, Saka and Martinelli finally looked a little bit like their old self. And I must say, and I'm not saying this because they're my two favourite players, I'm not saying it because I'm Mikel Arteta out and all this rubbish, but our style of play was so much better and more free-flowing. And funny enough, everybody played better, particularly Saka and Martinelli. What did you make of those three people, man?
Listen, I'm going to say it now. Ben White, outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. He was back. Do you know what? That was the performance that he was putting in last season. I have to say, he was putting those performances in last season, and I thought he was he was back to his best. Listen, who's the other two you said?
Saka and Martinelli.
Saka and Martinelli. I think Saka and Martinelli were backed up fantastically well. One by Ben White, and two, I think Jorginho played a big part in Martinelli because I think he got the ball to him very, very early. Now, listen, I'm going to be really honest. Martinelli and Saka played really well because they had the freedom a little bit. I think they could enjoy that game a little bit better. They ain't got to be doubled up on and all that. Like, I didn't see them being doubled up. You know, Diaz was playing on the left-hand side. He weren't busting his gut to get back at Saka in this game there because they feel confident that they've got the players to to deal with that, like, you know. And listen, you know, that Liverpool prefer that to cause their own problems. They'd rather have Diaz causing our back four problems than doubling up on Saka. But I thought that Ben White, I watched that, you know, watching the game back, and I've watched Ben White as well. Look at I think he made 10 runs in that game, Dan, when he went past Saka, right, and never got it once. Never got it once, but he still continued to do it. Like, then got back and then played some lovely passes in midfield, defended very, very well. I think that he liked the battle that he had with Diaz. I think he loved it. I think that it was like, right, I've got to be on my game. He left one in on him. I think it was him or it was Gomez. Left one in. I can't remember who it was. Left one on him in the first 10 minutes. Please, any defender out there that's playing against the Arsenal, leave one on Ben White very early, please. Like, you know what I mean? Get his goat up so he can carry on like that. You know what I mean? Because I like that. He got kicks and he thought, right, I ain't having this. And it sparks it. I know a lot of players like that, Dan. You know what I mean? Like, you know, oh, don't kick him because you don't want to get him riled up for the game. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that helped his game. Do you know what I mean? Because he like had the bit between his teeth after then. So fantastic performance for him. I thought Saka, listen, I don't still think he's hitting the heights of last season. I don't. But, like, you know, 2 goals in his last 2 games, 2 important games for us this week. You know, he's there, isn't he? Like, you know, someone put up on Twitter his record against the top teams. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why Spurs were in there, but they were. But, you know, I mean, like, I don't really understand why that was in there. But, like, he's contributed 3 and 2 and 3 and 3 and 3 goals and against all the top teams, you know, and I will include Spurs in that because they're our rivals, you know, for what they are. Unbelievable. I think against Liverpool, he's got three goals in 3 games, you know what I mean? So, ain't got no assists, but sometimes you don't need them. I know, like, it's an unbelievable. I think he's got 3 and 3 in the league because I think he's got 2 in the last home game, didn't he? 1 yesterday and 1 he didn't score at Anfield. So, yes, I mean, it is true. So, brilliant performance. Martinelli, I'm telling that, I'm going to be really honest. I don't care what any Liverpool fan says. I don't care what anybody says. If Saka scores from that header, I think Arsenal win 4 or 5-0 that day. I really do. Because he destroyed Calamity in that first run. And I think if that would have gone in, I think it would have frightened the life out of them. Like, you know what I mean? It frightened the life out of him anyway. You know what I mean? Like, he left him for dead, and he's no slouch, by the way. You know, he had him on toast at Anfield, by the way. Had his number at Anfield, and I loved that from Martinelli that he give it absolutely, you know, but really put it back on him, put him under the pump in that game, that first 20 minutes, like, you know. And I'll tell you what, it had been really interesting from Liverpool's point of view if Conor Bradley had played. Unfortunately, you know, sad news about
very sad.
It's tragic that, like, you know what I mean? Like, just got into the first team at Liverpool. His dad's 58, you know what I mean? He's got like 10 years of watching his son playing at the highest level. It's a tragedy. But because I don't know how he would have handled. I think he might have handled him better than Trent, because Trent didn't want to go near Martinelli. Every time he got the ball, he went past him, like, you know what I mean? Every single time. I don't know if Trent weren't 100% fit, but I don't care if you weren't, Dan. You know what I mean? If you weren't 100% fit, don't put him out there. You know what I mean? Like, you know, when people turn around and say, oh, yeah, well, Nunez wasn't 100% fit, you know what I mean? Well, we didn't put him out there then, did he? Like, you know what I mean? So why do it with Trent, you know? So, listen, at the end of the day, Martinelli, we all know what Martinelli is. You know, he's sensational on his day. I'm going to say it, he's unstoppable, unplayable on his day, like, you know. And and Liverpool suffered on that right hand side. I think maybe because he was on fire, but also I think that because Conor Bradley weren't there as well, like, you know, so
Yeah,
so big up to Conor Bradley and his family. I hope that they're all right, because
absolutely.
that was a shocker for that. That really got to me, because do you imagine if it was your son and you got I you know what I mean, you know, horrible fault that, like, you know what I mean. So
No,
my
it really
condolences
is, man.
back.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you there, and probably the weirdest week of his life, if I'm honest, because it's literally a buzz, and then he comes crashing down for him. So, absolutely horrendous. I will say, to lighten the mood, Ronnie is making me laugh, man.
Ah, Ronnie's back. Yeah, have another toffee, Ronnie. Like, he's back. Like, he's finished on that one. Like, come on,
He
like,
hates Chelsea
He
more.
hates Chelsea more. Like, you know what I mean?
We're just an
They
annoying
hated
lot
West
for
Ham.
playing
They
more.
hated West Ham for 15 years because Arsenal were too good for them. So they decided to have a rivalry with West Ham. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, now all of a sudden, like, we're annoying. Like, you know what I mean? But don't forget, you don't come from North London neither. You come from Middlesex. Remember that, like, you know. Remember that. Remember
There
where
we
you
go,
are.
mate.
So there you
Middlesex.
go.
Listen,
And you know what, Ronnie? I just got to say one thing about Ronnie. You know what I mean? Look, you can have a go at the Arsenal as much as you like, mate, but you've won the league title twice. We've won it twice on your ground. Enough said.
I love that, man.
Have a toffee. There you go.
Love it, man. Listen, let's talk about the goals league, because they were comical. Absolutely comical. Even the one they scored, or we scored for them. Let's just concentrate on each one, because there's only 3 to go through, right? Who are you blaming for the one that what they scored at half time? Because for me, like we've spoken about the first goal, obviously Kai Havertz should have scored. Saka buries it, right?
Yeah.
Brilliant movement. Van Dijk really should do better, in my opinion, but great movement from Arsenal. For the second goal, is in to make it 1-1. I'm going to hold my hands up when it happened. I went, bloody Raya. But when I've looked at it again,
I
it
loved
was
it. I would have loved it to have been Raya.
it was it was Saliba, mate. It was Saliba. And I mean, Gabriel Raya didn't really do much to help him, but Saliba has got to just clear it out. He's waiting for Raya. He's waiting for Raya. If in doubt, get it out. And I love Saliba, but I will call him out. He needs to watch himself, because that's 2 now. He's got bodied by a Wonyi, and he's been caught on the ball now against Liverpool. So no more mistakes from Mr. Saliba, please. But it's got to be Saliba, Lee, isn't it? We can't blame Raya for that one, surely.
Listen, Saliba is at fault, and listen, all the Saliba lovers were blaming Raya for it. Like, you know, it was at half time trying to blame him for it. Saliba should have won the header in the first place, like he should have done last week at Forest. He doesn't win the header. He's up against Diaz, by the way. Like, you know what I mean, for that header. If you look back on it, like, he doesn't win it. He wins it half, but not good enough for a big centre half. And we're bigging him up as a world-class centre-half. You're up against Diaz. You know, come on. Should win the header. That's the first thing he does. The second thing that he does, he gets his body in front of it fantastically well. There's a minute to go to half-time. You're 1-0 up. You played them off the park. You just clear your lines, Dan. You just clear your lines. He doesn't do that. And then when he doesn't do that, yes, I do think Raya should have been a little bit quicker and helped him out and just kicked it out or whatever. I don't know. A little bit of him. But for me, cut it out at source. Cut it out first and foremost. And that is Saliba. By the way, when that happened, I lost it, mate. Oh, I lost it. I walked out. You know what I mean? I've got off my seat, shouting at people, I pay money to watch defending like that. That's it. You know what I mean? Like, absolutely gone. Listen, I weren't the only one. I weren't the only one.
There's a lot of people that were, mate, at half time.
I weren't the only one. I was sitting there. I didn't enjoy my beer. I was fuming, like, you know what I mean? People were coming up. Worst thing you can do is when you're calling them, you know, like, we're going to lose it. Oh, yeah, we ain't going to win this. And the people agreeing with you and whatever. And I'm going to really be honest with you, Dan. Credit to the players, but the 10 minutes after that, I'm just sitting there like that, like, you know, it's a matter of time before they score. You know what I mean? Pathetic. You know what I mean? Like, how can you play so well and do that?
Well, first 10 minutes of the second half, they actually did look all right.
Yeah, they looked dangerous. And you know when Odegaard had that shot, he took that deflection. Everybody's jumping up around me. I'm sitting there like that. Don't matter. They're gonna get. I'd gone. I'd absolutely fuming. But, like, you know, I think we had the penalty shout. Got me back into it, because I still think that could have been. Do you know what? I've seen penalties given for that. I know probably it wasn't a penalty, but I've seen
Oh, the one on Havertz was that?
Yeah, you know, he doesn't get the ball. He takes him out first before he gets the ball. But I'm not saying it was a penalty, but I've seen penalties given for that. Got me going again. That got me going. That penalty decision. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I can't believe, by the way, that everybody's saying Anthony Taylor. You know, more on Arsenal side. Jesus Christ, 6 bookings we had, and we had them all the game. I thought he was.
It was poor.
I can't
It was a
stand
poor performance again from him, wasn't it? For both teams, to be fair, it weren't a good
Shocking.
performance, was it? Again, but I
Shocking.
don't expect it. As soon as he comes out, Lee, I'm not even looking at that. I'm knowing what he's going to be poor. So let's make sure that nothing happens that we're blaming him by the end of the game. And luckily, we didn't have to, because we did the business on the pitch, and that's always what it should be about. But when you got referees like that, it is always going to be harsh for either side. To be honest with you, but yeah, I was with you. I was with you, mate. At half time,
How was you coming like that? But in the chat, come on, let's be honest on the chat.
Yeah.
What was we all thinking in the chat when that went in? Was we all happy at half time? I don't think we were.
Jason, my mate, sat behind me. He goes, "Well, this will be a horrible second half. We know what's going to happen." And then in 10 minutes, I was looking at him going, "Oh, I hope you're wrong, but you're going to be right, aren't you?" He goes, "Told you, mate. Told you." Listen, I'm in a position right now where I feel really let down at half time and buzzing at full time, and that proves how quickly things can change, right?
Yeah.
But my God, I was really pissed at half time, because it was more about, it weren't even like the shambolic defending. It was the fact that, like, they didn't deserve it. We played so well up until that point. It's like, it's going to happen again. This is going to be bad defending at the Emirates yet again. Bit like you, we don't pay this money to watch crap defending like that, especially from world-class defenders that people have been saying. Listen, I love Gabriel and Saliba, and but I can't stick up for Saliba there. I think that was really poor, really, really poor. But we got back into it, Lee, and luckily, anything Saliba can do, Van Dijk can do better, mate.
You know what? That's enough. I've got to say that. I've got to say, I was actually, like, my mate Kevin, who sits next to me, is going, like, I'm shouting and screaming, like, you know what I mean? And I'm going to it. They'll never do nothing like that. They won't give away a goal like that. No way will a team give away a goal like that. I'm going mad. And he kept going to me. Do you know when it's annoying sometimes? And I love Kevin, don't get me wrong. Like, he's going to me, don't worry about it. We'll win this 3-1. We'll win this 3-1, 3 or 4-1. How can you say that after seeing that defending? You know what I mean? But he was adamant about it. Like, you know, when we scored the third goal, you know when you look around and you see a big cheesy grin with someone like going, "I told you so. I told you so." Like, you know what I mean? Because you're so delighted, you've got to go, yes, yes, yes. You know what I mean? But and I sat down afterwards, you know, when everybody was going, and I said, "What made you say that we was going to win that 3-1?" And he went, "Because the way we was playing, we was so good." And do you know what? Some people watch it different to me. You know, I'm an emotional sort of guy watching the game.
When you watch it in emotion, you do. And there's a lot of people I know now. Graham Brooks is one of them. He watches it with no emotion after the game. He watches it and he analyses it. And Clive Palmer does it very, very well. I wish I could do that more. I'm so emotional in the game.
Yeah, I'm so into the game. I don't see
it. You know.
Yeah.
When you watch it again, because you know the score, there's no emotion. You know exactly what's going to happen, and it's actually enjoyable. A lot of people go to me, "How can you sit and watch a football game and go and watch it again?" I can now. I never used to be out there. I used to think, we're going to watch the highlights and I'm done. But actually, you watch it again, and then you do look at the performances of Jorginho and Havertz and Rice. You see a different game, Lee. You really do, because the emotion's out of it. You know.
You know, like, that's why, you know, I should. I'm a bad person, really. I'm going to admit it now. I'm a bad person, because when Arsenal win, I watch the highlights, I watch the Sky, I watch the full game back. If we lose, I can't watch it. But maybe I should watch a few defeats, maybe, and you can see that maybe we weren't as bad as what I thought or whatever, because I'm not so emotionally into it. Like, but when that mistake happened, I enjoyed that more than Giroud's goal, the scorpion kick against Crystal Palace, because it was something. It was you know, for great players to make a mistake like that just shows you what you must be doing to teams. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they took out of their comfort zone, and it was calamity what happened. The two best. Well, the best goalkeeper, I think, in the Premier League since he's been here. And Van Dijk, the best central defender since he, you know, well, he's probably the best central defender.
Last 5 years have been the best goalkeeper and best centre half in the world for me.
Yeah,
in the last 3 years, 4 years, they've definitely had. You know,
incredible.
And for me, Van Dijk, just edit. Alisson just don't come out. Like,
Yeah,
honestly, like the pair of them, it was absolute. And then Alisson actually kicks Van Dijk instead of the ball. It's an
yeah.
absolute shambles, mate. I mean,
It's just,
Martinelli can't believe his luck. But you know what? Credit to Martinelli, because if he isn't tenacious there and he don't give 100% and he don't chase that, he ain't getting that position. So fair
no.
play to Martinelli for that. But those two have got to hold that, man. I tell you, Alisson and Van Dijk. And then in the second,
Who would you blame for that?
Van Dijk. Van Dijk more. Van Dijk more, because Van Dijk has got to deal with that as an experienced defender. Alisson's come out because he's trying to help his mate out, in my opinion. Don't know why. He should have just stayed where he is, but he's come out because he's trying to help his mate. But he needs to just head that ball. Why has he let it bounce over his head? I don't get it at all. I think that's poor from him. But yeah, Alisson's come out and just done his best circus act. I don't know what he's doing. But mate, it was poor from Van Dijk, bruv. It was poor, I thought.
Yeah,
Because if you look at the 3 goals, right, Van Dijk gets caught out in the first goal. He's out of position, in my opinion. Second goal, he lets the ball go over his head and it bounces and they clash. Third goal actually deflects and nuts Alisson. So he's actually been at fault or made a part in every single one of the goals.
yeah,
And I think he's been quality this year, Van Dijk. He's been back
yeah.
to his best. But he was poor, mate. He was poor against us.
I will say this, and also, and I'm a little bit annoyed on Match of the Day, and you know, this is where there's a little bit of a, you know, definitely a little bit of an agenda against Arsenal. The football for that first goal, how we opened them up, was sensational, Dan.
Yeah,
From
yeah.
Jorginho to the left back to central defender into Sinchenko, then on the Odegaard pass. You know, the build up to that was sensational. Like, you know, I know what you're saying, that maybe they got drawn out of position. I think the football was so good they couldn't get near us on that goal. It's fantastic to watch. I've watched it about 15 times now. You know, it's brilliant, brilliant, brilliant football. But that, you know, sometimes in games you need a little bit of luck, Dan. As well as what we played, we had a little bit of luck. You know, the Havertz one bounces straight to Saka. Another game, like, well, the game against in the FA Cup, it didn't happen. You know, and you know, I think that because of you need a little bit of luck to win the FA Cup. I wouldn't be surprised if Liverpool go and win the FA Cup, because they've had that little bit of luck, which is what you need to win competitions. You look back at that and you think, wow, we got outplayed at Arsenal, but somehow we won. And that second goal, you know what I mean, for us was just what the doctoral, just at the right time as well, Dan. We was right back on top again, like, you know, and then we got the goal. It was fantastic. And oh my God, the atmosphere when that went was unbelievable. The atmosphere in the crowd was sensational, by the way.
Yeah, it was. And that was where I wanted to go next. I felt completely different at the Emirates at the weekend. I just felt like the fans were really up for it. I understand it's a really important goal. Important game and a great win. But I kind of wish like we could always be like that, whether it's Burnley at home or Man City at home, because for me, it does make a huge amount of difference. And I really felt like the fans and the players were connected. The manager was up for it. I understand it's a huge game, Lee, but I think we need that so much. And I thought it was really good from the fan base. And I thought fair play. Listen, it weren't that loud when it went 1-1. Let me tell you that. And it weren't that loud in the second half. But
No.
we got there, we lifted it, and we went there. So we need that in every game, man, because for me, that is what makes it, and what makes the Emirates so tough for them. Liverpool, I've got to say this. My dad said this. He went, buddy, I've just looked up. It's 39 minutes, and they're actually they're singing now. We kept Liverpool quiet for 39 minutes. I didn't even know they were there.
They were shocked in that first Martinelli run. That frightened the lives out of them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, apparently the toilets were blocked at half time because of it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they was absolutely worried the hell out of them. Like, you know. But listen, you know, the atmosphere. I think at times, and I'll give Liverpool credit for this, because they come there with a game plan of, you know, like, don't get me wrong, every team comes here with a game plan to win the game, you know what I mean? But what they're trying to do is to frustrate. They said, no, we're going to go toe to toe with Arsenal, and it makes an entertaining game. It was the best game at the Emirates this season by a country mile, because even in the Man City game was an intriguing one tactically. You know what I mean? Like, Man City never come out and played like Liverpool.
This one was more enjoyable, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah. And that's why I always admire Klopp as a manager and Liverpool. They haven't got the resources of Man City, but they will give it a go, and they believe in their philosophy. They go for it every game. And I you know, whether you like Liverpool or not, I've always got a grudging admiration for the football club all through the years when I was growing up, how good they were. And to go toe to toe with Manchester City as they have done over the last 5 seasons is incredible. And if it weren't for Manchester City cheating and everything like that, Liverpool would have won those titles, Dan. You know what I mean? So credit where credit's due, because they've played within the rules where Manchester City haven't, and you have to give them credit for that. And they give it a go, and I've got a lot of admiration from them for that point of view.
Facts, mate.
But the atmosphere was, like the game and everything like that. And I also think that sometimes, you don't. How can I say it like without trying to be critical? It comes naturally, you know what I mean? Like that atmosphere was natural. Sometimes I think we're trying to generate an atmosphere that ain't there. Now, for instance, the North London at the beginning, like we don't need no speakers on for that. You know what I mean? Like they do at Anfield, they put the speakers. There's no speakers on when that were, and that was as loud as anything. Like, you know what I mean? Like turn your speakers off at Anfield and let it be natural. You know what I mean? But they don't Liverpool. It's all like speakers and all things like that, which is ridiculous. But we don't need speakers. It was fantastic, and it was off from there. I even think like a couple of the games, but I think because the expectation level is there a little bit, you know what I mean, to win games. So you just go there now expecting to win games. But listen, anybody that was in that stadium on Sunday, it's an experience, Dan. Like we're lucky to. I felt fortunate, very, very fortunate to be in there on Sunday, because that's an atmosphere, which is, money can't buy. Even though you do pay to go in.
I know what you mean.
Do you know what I mean? No, like
100%.
It was sensational.
Yeah, absolutely, it was, man. Listen, last before we close, in 5 weeks' time, we are either going to be in a title race in a Champions League quarterfinal, or we're going to be out of the Champions League and the title is going to be running away from us. We have got 7 games within that 5-week period, 2 of which are Porto at home and Porto away. We've got West Ham, Burnley, and Sheffield United away, and we have Newcastle and Brentford at home. I'm going to say this now. I do not get carried away. I'm not one to do that, but they are very winnable fixtures, Lee. Right? I don't look at any of those games and go, no chance. But I do look at most of those games and go, we should beat them. Now, obviously, we take one at a time, but that is quite a nice fixture list for us to have for the remainder of February and the start of March. I don't look at that and think, wow, how the hell are we going to get through this? We ain't got Liverpool, City, Spurs, and Newcastle in a row, right? We've got some nice fixtures. Burnley and Sheffield United away. They look dead and buried in the Premier League, yeah? Obviously, Brentford and Newcastle are different at home than away, you'd like to think. And then Porto in the Champions League, we say the draw was an easier draw. Could have got a harder team for sure. Could have got an easier team for sure. So I want to ask Lee Judges what he thinks about the upcoming few weeks, because I think they're going to be absolutely massive for our season, bro.
Pivotal. I'm going to say this now, right? I'll say this now. We're back in the title race, right, at this moment in time. Do I think Arsenal win the title? No, I don't.
No, me neither.
I don't. But if we go to West Ham, which is a massive game for us now, a really tough game, by the way, they've got the number on us. So David Moyes has got the number on Arteta. Yep. Don't worry about that. So this is going to be a problem game for us. This is I'm going to say it now. I said it before this game. I'm worrying more about West Ham away than Liverpool at home. I've said that before Liverpool game. I'll still say it now. This is our biggest game. This is going to be the toughest out of the batch of fixtures we've got coming up. West Ham away. Laugh if you want, but I'm telling you it is, because they are everything. Their strengths are all our weaknesses. You know what I mean? The way they play and all that, and they will play. They're sitting against us, and they have players that can hurt us, and it'll be a problem for us. If we can get over that, Dan, if we are to be in this title race, we have to beat them. We then have to go to Burnley and beat them. We then have to come at home to Newcastle and beat them. We have to then go to Sheffield United and beat them, and then we have to come back at home against Brentford and beat them. And then if Chelsea are not in the FA Cup quarterfinals, we have them. We play Chelsea on that Saturday, and then we have the international break. We have to win every single one of those games going into the international break, because after the international break comes Easter, and on that Easter Sunday, we have a certain team called Manchester City. We need to win every single game going into that game. Now, if we win every single game up until we go into that Easter, we are back in the title race, and that game will be a massive, massive title game on that day. We drop any points up until that, we will not be winning the league. I can tell you that now, because Manchester City will not be dropping no points. They have Liverpool in between those fixtures as well. Like, so we need to win all of these games. Every other team in and around us have got games that are winnable games, right? Manchester City now will go on a run. We have to stay with them. When you look at those fixtures, right, they're quite favourable. They're quite favourable when you've got Manchester City on a run as well. Like, you know, now if we win every single one of them, we can sit there with our feet up, right, watching that Manchester City Liverpool game. I want to be watching that Manchester City Liverpool game, Dan, with the interest of we are winning. Not that, what could have been. What could have been if we kept our games on night. So that is so important. Starts against West Ham. If we beat them, then I expect us to win all those other games up there. Don't forget, Newcastle will be a tough nut to crack. I've got no doubt about it. But we're at home. We perform. Burnley and Sheffield United, if we drop any points against any of them two teams, we do not deserve to win the league then, like, you know. But we have made our errors earlier on the season. We've not beaten Fulham over 2 games. You need to go on a run now. Do I think we will? Yes, I do think we will. The one game I think that we might slip up in is Sunday. I am not looking forward to Sunday. It's going to be a tough game. And that's how I feel about it.
I think you're absolutely spot on, and so does the chat. I honestly believe if we want to guarantee ourselves winning a title, we can't lose another game. Because Manchester City are not going to drop many points. Now, I think they will drop points. I think they could potentially drop points at Anfield. They could drop points at Spurs. I think they've got to go to play them at their ground still. But I do look at what's happening right now, and I look at the fixtures of Manchester City, the form of Manchester City, the understanding of what they've done in the last few years from between February to May. And I know this is going to be incredibly difficult to win the league, and that's why I don't think we will. But if we have any chance whatsoever, we have to look at those 5 games at home that Premier League games that I've just read out, and they all got to be wins. We can't be going to West Ham, drawing, it'll be all right, we'll go and beat. Now we've dropped points at Newcastle. Now we've dropped points at Brentford. Can't do any of that rubbish. West Ham must win, right? We ain't been able to. In the last 3 times we faced him in the League and Cup, we've drew 1 and we've lost 2. That is poor against West Ham. That ain't great side, by the way. Yeah, we have to shut them up. They seem to think there's a rivalry now because we stole Declan Rice off of them. Let's just shut them up, go beat them, and then move on to the next one. That's what needs to happen for me. So, yeah, let's get behind it. Listen, we're going to leave it there, people. Make sure you do me a favour. Make sure you like this stream. What are we on at the moment? There's 500 people in here. Must be on 200 likes, is it not? No, 168. Come on, peeps. Make sure you smash the like button. Let's get that up to 250 at least. That's all we ask for is 50%. So that's easily done before the end of this stream. Make sure you hit the like. Subscribe to the channel as well. We're trying to get up to 40k, so please make sure you're part of that community. And if you can, come and follow myself for Football's 12th Man podcast. That would be amazing. We're trying to get to 20k, and that would be great to follow the community. Lee, any last words?
No, I just want to say thanks to the chat, like, you know, over nearly 500 of you guys in there today. That's unbelievable, like, you know, so thanks for the support. We do appreciate it. And it makes it even much more fun when you interact with us and all that, like, you know, and a big up to everybody in the chat. And we like a bit of banter as well, don't we, Dan? We do like a bit of banter. And
100%, man.
So, and we'll be back, I think, hopefully North London podcast. Probably do something on Friday.
Yeah, on Thursday. We'll be back in the next couple of days for Conor. We're going to try and do something every day. So
try and do something every day. And we're obviously like West Ham preview. We get a few guys on talking about that as well. Like, so, we're looking forward to that. So thanks to everybody. Thanks to yourself, Dan, as well. Smashing it at the moment, son. You're smashing it at the moment. And listen, also, I've got to say, thanks for everybody that watched us with the after show after the game on
yes, me, you, and Julian.
Yes, we done that off the cuff, and I've got to give you praise for that because your idea, Dan. We're going to do some more of them because like over 21,000 people watched that. You know what I mean? And it was just off the cuff that we done it. So we're going to do a few more of them because like that was a really big boost for us too, wasn't it, to see like so many people watching that, like, you know. So so thanks for that, for tuning into that. So we're going to be doing a few more of them, not every week, but like we you know, you know, because we feel a little bit sorry for young Sam standing in the freezing cold. It's not the greatest job in the freezing
Big
cold.
up to Sam, though, man. Big up to Sam. He is class.
Yeah, and Julian did have some good points in that, like, you know what I mean? And he loves going on it as well. So we're going to have a few more guys on it as well. We'll try and get a few of the guys back. But yeah, so that was a massive boost to us. That was to have such a big
100%
thing on that. So thank you very much.
Big up, man. Echo that as well. Listen, we're out of here, people. Take it easy. Have a great rest for your evening. And I'm sure we'll be back tomorrow on Thursday and Friday. So stay tuned, like, subscribe. We'll see you next time. We're out of here. Peace.